All right, my beautiful friends, it is Sunday, April 7, 2019, and welcome to my newest segment of Markets, A Look Ahead. However, before we talk about the markets, and I have a lot to say on that, I want to share something with you. Now, we all witness these skylines from time to time. I see them, but this morning, I just happened to look out my back window and I took this snapshot. I've never seen it like this before. Now, I'm not saying what this is, what it's not. I'm not trying to create a conspiracy theory or whatever, but that does not look normal to me. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I know there's a lot of talk about what these may or may not be, but that doesn't look normal. I've never seen it like that. Interesting stuff. I don't know. With that aside, what do you think that is? Let me know. Maybe I'm the last guy here in the dark. Like I said, I hear a lot of stories. I hear a lot of what it may or may not be. What is it to you? Anyway, with that said, let's talk about this market here. Let's just go over the past, I don't know, almost a couple of months now. There's this good cop, bad cop, tug of war, if you want to call it, going on between the White House, specifically the Trump administration, and the Federal Reserve. It's a joke. We all know that. If you believe this is real, then you are living in fantasy land, and maybe I have no idea. But the issue is pretty straightforward. We've been hearing for a while that the Federal Reserve should be cutting rates. Larry Kudlow says it should be done immediately. Now we're hearing that the Federal Reserve should again begin a new round of quantitative easing, which is an emergency monetary policy. You all know that. I covered this at length in the last video I did. The title was "The Truth: Why President Trump is Calling for a New Round of Quantitative Easing, or QE4. Watch that video if you have not seen it so you can get up to speed. So look, here's the story. With the promise of a rate cut or two or negative rates, and now even the suggestion of more overt quantitative easing, money, cash being printed out of thin air to buy up the debt, to keep everything propped up, basically anything can be thrown at the stock market right now, and it's going to continue to move higher, and the gap between what's going on in the stock market and our economy will get wider. You understand? Look, I'm going to cover this just real quick again. Many of you wrote to me over the weekend and took it upon yourselves, and bravo to you, to look at the money velocity chart right from the Federal Reserve's own website. And you've seen that it's near historic lows. You cannot have an economic recovery or a booming economy without cash changing hands rapidly. You understand? It's a very simple concept. This is the same narrative that was pushed under President Obama. So this is not exclusive to President Trump. Understand? They're all part of the same cabal here, and they are your enemy. That's the truth. The government has become the enemy. The two-party system is meant to divide you. You know that. I mean, I don't got to go over this anymore. It creates a bipolar system with no balance. The balance is in the middle. You understand? There are many references to this three-tier or three-part system here. You may want to look at things like the monad, the dyad, the triad. I don't know how deep any of you are out here, but it'll put a perspective on this for you. But anyway, just going back to what I was saying here, the promise of the market getting more easy money, more possibly quantitative easing, our economy is failing. It is failing. The only thing that's keeping it propped up, it's failed already. It's not just failing, it's failed. This is a failed state. It's the truth. And their last resort is Again, how many times have you heard me say the Federal Reserve is a lender of last resort? The Federal Reserve is a lender of last resort. Now, maybe this is putting a perspective on this, it's coming together, in a kind of a way, unless you're completely blind, and I doubt that's most of you out here. You understand that what I mean by the Federal Reserve is a lender of last resort is they're going to keep buying everything just to keep everything propped up. Not only that, it's a mechanism here. Let me outline this a little more concisely for you. We've been witnessing a very strange phenomenon for which I have tried to shed light on for months and months and months. Longer than that even. We're witnessing a simultaneous event which is unnatural. A rally in the bond market and a subsequent rally in the stock market. Something is wrong. We're not supposed to get this kind of thing, but the rally in the debt market means cash is moving into the debt market to keep rates suppressed. That's how it works. And I've outlined this a million gazillion times. When cash comes out of the debt market, rates will rise. When cash goes into the debt market, rates become suppressed. So again, we know who's doing this, even though they can tell you this, the Federal Reserve can tell you they're shrinking their balance sheet, quantitative tightening. It's not happening. It's impossible to be happening. And I've also outlined this for you. Central banks, you have to believe me on this, are buying each other's debt around the world to keep rates suppressed, keeping it off balance sheet. All right, that's what they are doing. They can't tell you. They have to. The illusion has to be what it is, but the facts are just in your face. The truth is never far behind. It's always glaring in our face, and they're telling you to look here, but you really should just be looking here. And all you need to do, again, is use your intellect, which is a God-given gift, to allow you to think outside of the box that the system is trying to squeeze you into. You understand? This is why I've been saying, shut off your TVs, turn off any channel, any one of them that is trying to polarize you, that is saying they're the enemy. No, no, no. They're the enemy. No, no, no. So the truth is always in the middle, between the two poles. You understand? People that are stuck in this paradigm and this paradigm that are unable to break out of it, they got problems that they have no idea how to deal with it. And it's unfortunate. They need to create that balance in their life, and they can't do it because of the, well, maybe it has to do with those lines I showed you in the beginning of this video. I have no idea. I'm just throwing it out there. So we have this phenomenon here where we got cash moving into the bond, a rally in the bond market, a rally in the stock market. But the rally in the bond market, deliberate, it's a deliberate act. Quantitative easing 1 started it. When they started suppressing rates like this, it forced cash into other assets. It's creating malinvestment, distortions across the entire spectrum of asset classes. You understand? It's very, very, very simple. Now, with the promise of rate cuts coming here, this is a mechanism here that's been used right now for over a decade. By suppressing rates. You all know this. Any member of the middle class, usually it's the middle class who has a savings account here, is getting robbed blind because they're earning interest less than the actual rate of inflation. If we do get a rate cut, which is being called for by the president, by Larry Kudlow, by the administration, that means the middle class will be robbed even further and more cash will be forced into the stock market. Now, I'm not saying that the middle class does not own stock. Sure they do. But it's a mechanism to inflate the stock market. As always, we know what central banks are. Central banks colluding with their respective party leaders inflate bubbles and they deflate bubbles. More cash is made faster when they deflate the bubbles than when they inflate them. A lot of effort goes into inflating them, getting the middle class to invest in an account that only makes cash when the stock market moves up. Most people don't understand that the investment banks, the Wall Street banks, the hedge funds, they don't give a damn I don't give a damn which way the market goes. You make money on both sides of the trade. So the middle class who doesn't understand this, look, the rich, they have people managing their money. They'll be the first out the door. You know that. And the mechanism is to simply move the cash from the middle class who has these accounts that only make money when the stock market goes up, to be transferred to the 1%, to the rich, when this comes down. Again, the middle class, yeah, sure, they own stocks, but they only make money if the stock market goes up. That's not the case with, again, the investment banks, the big financial institutions, the rich. They make money on either side of the trade. So they inflate these bubbles and they deflate these bubbles. So the act, which they're talking about now, is going to happen. A rate cut is a mechanism to, again, rob the middle class beyond belief, like they're already being robbed, to grease the wheels of this machine. The middle class is subsidizing the entire stock market and is going to be forced to do it to a greater degree if we get a rate cut, which I believe is coming, and if the groundwork is already being set up for a QE4, came right out of the president's mouth. These things are not done by accident. Nothing in politics ever happens by accident. You should know that by now. Okay. If you don't, read a book or two. So the groundwork is being set up. QE4. What does it mean? More over cash being printed out of thin air and reinflate the Federal Reserve's balance sheet larger than it is right now. They're undergoing a quantitative tightening. It's done nothing. Okay, it's a joke. So anyone that believes that there's some real mechanism going on here is deluded and is in the box. And again, I told you, central banks around the world are buying each other's debt to keep it off balance sheet, to keep everything looking like, oh, things are going okay. But they're really not. It's an incredible thing. Look at the money velocity, people. Take 2 minutes of your time and look up a money velocity chart. My God. When you hear a politician from the top down telling you that this is an economic boom, we're not even in a recovery, we're in a boom, you're looking straight into and listening to a liar. Okay? No one will address this. Hey, Mr. President, why is the money velocity at historic low or near historic lows? I can't imagine how they're going to spin it, but they will. They'll try to figure it out. And a lot of people, not the multitudes that can think, or the ones that have been dubbed down, will understand that whatever they say is a lie. I wish someone would say to Larry Kudlow, hey, Larry, when you're done snorting a few lines, why don't you tell us the relationship between money velocity and our economy? How can we possibly have an economic boom if cash is moving through our economy at a rapid pace? Okay, Larry, come off the high. Maybe you can, spin it. God, you have no idea how much I would love to debate this guy. Larry Kudlow, you want to debate me? Let's do it. I know that you can get in contact with me, but I guarantee you I will hear nothing from anybody. How about President Trump? I'll debate you too. Or any other politician, I'll debate you too. Let's talk about the economy. Let's talk about these markets. I'll set the record straight, and they would be dumbfounded. They would be like, with the constipation face. It's just because look, they have to stick to their narrative, no matter what it is. They have to spin it and twist it to make people believe that this is just great. But you know that it's not. Look, this is pretty simple. I know this video is getting kind of long here. Nothing is going to matter to this stock market here with the promise of rate cuts and even the thought that there's going to be a QE4. Wow. I could only imagine what Citizen Trump or candidate Trump would have been saying today if this were Obama in office right now, because Citizen Trump and candidate Trump knew exactly what was going on. Let me say this again one more time. The president is a very smart man, smart enough to know that he has to, the rigging in the debt market must continue to keep things propped up, to keep asset prices distorted and moving away from our economy. You understand? He knows this very well. He outlined this clearly as a citizen. I read to you a tweet that he said prior to being candidate Trump, and even while he was candidate Trump, he said it again. He knows exactly how it works. And that would, you see, if I were to get into a conversation with the president, and I know for a fact that the president and I, if behind closed doors, are 100% synced with regard to understanding the debt market, how it works, the rigging, how that works, what's going on under the table, what central banks are doing right now. Believe me, it's no secret. It's only a secret to those who are stuck in this pole or in this pole. You got it? Get yourself in the middle. Understand what's going on here, and you will be a lot better off. Let me tell you this real quick. If starting today, and I mean this, you were to turn off the news, turn off every single channel, YouTube or otherwise, that is trying to polarize you, all of a sudden a new world is going to open up to you. Your intellect will start to function again because they're dumbing you down. And I would sadly have to say this, and I'm going to say it, I don't care, that there are some YouTube channels here who are being paid to push an agenda. It's the truth. Sad to say that, but it's true. I love all of you, and I mean that. Please share this video if it makes sense to you, and I'll see you in the morning.